Most of us associate intimacy with relationships involving sexual activity when we hear the word. These kinds of relationships, though, only make up a small portion of the range that intimacy encompasses. With a lot of compassion and depth, healthy relationships can be formed and maintained through intimacy. Not only sexual relationships, but every relationship we develop throughout our lives requires intimacy. Let's examine why narcissists avoid intimacy now that the definition of intimacy has been clarified. Being truly intimate with another person requires a high degree of openness, trust, and emotional stability, all of which a narcissist lacks. Because intimacy demands bring forth their underlying fear of abandonment, they run miles away from it. Their flaws, such as emotional instability and a paralyzing aura of self-loathing, lead them to see intimacy through a dangerous lens. Narcissists are often terrified of being seen as they are, and intimacy is all about getting close to another person and being seen. So, narcissists avoid intimacy to prevent themselves from feeling shame or being shamed by others. If narcissists get too close to others, they risk having those people see their flaws and judge them. By nature, narcissists are shame avoidant. They will do anything to avoid feeling it because shame is often a precursor to feeling weak and insecure. A narcissist is protected from being truly rejected, truly failing, truly abandoned, judged, criticized, and hurt by not being truly intimate or vulnerable. This is why narcissists rarely, if ever, allow others to become too close. If they were ever to let you close and feel it, they could experience the total annihilation of their false self. Narcissists are the biggest intimacy avoidants. For intimacy to exist, empathy is required. There must be both give and take, susceptibility and openness, integrity and transparency. On an emotional level, these concepts are foreign to a narcissist, let alone allowing others to perceive their own emotions in relation to themselves. So this brings us to the ultimate question. Do narcissists have a problem with love? In reality, narcissists know love as a concept to be used against you, but are afraid of loving someone truly. In fact, they create an idealized snapshot of yours when they meet you, but become horrible and cruel when you aren't behaving as ideally as they expect you to. Ultimately, they devalue you for not being as perfect as they thought you would be. Everything they admire in you in the beginning becomes a flaw later. As per them, they cannot fall in love with something so beneath them and imperfect. They cannot associate themselves with a weakling that brings them shame. Fear of vulnerability. Let's look at the narcissist's fear of vulnerability in depth. For a relationship to be meaningful and intimate, both partners must be willing to be vulnerable with each other and let their partners see the real them. Quite the opposite, narcissists do not want to show their true selves to anyone because their true self is dead and rotten. They have suppressed it so much that just focusing on it terrorizes and terrifies them. They avoid intimacy by keeping you at a distance, and if you try to get closer, they punish you through abandonment and neglect. The narcissist may want to be in a relationship but not for love. They want to be with you only for emotional supply. They are often very picky about who they date and will only let someone into their life if they know the person will bring them never-ending supply, negatively or positively. In some cases, you may be able to get close to them, but you will never truly experience the narcissist. You will interact with a facade that knows how to be normal. They are extremely paranoid. Another reason narcissists avoid intimacy is that they do not trust anyone. People who have experienced trauma often have trouble trusting others, but narcissists are not just distrustful, they're outright paranoid. They always see you as an enemy and delusionally believe you're out there to get them. Their paranoias are hardcore delusions they fully believe to be the absolute truth, which is why no matter what you do for them, they would still think you're after their money, you're jealous of their progress, or you want to destroy them in one way or another. The need for control. Another reason narcissists avoid intimacy is their need for control. Narcissists often crave a sense of control in their relationships, and intimacy can make them feel out of control of themselves and you. If they get too close, they may feel like they are losing control, which can make them uncomfortable and they push you away. They need to have the upper hand and have to set rules for how you should behave and what you should and shouldn't do. This prevents the relationship from advancing in intimacy, and you never get to know the person from beginning to end. In a nutshell, intimacy is not a word in their vocabulary. It is an alien concept they only know how to use against you. If you found this episode insightful, please drop a like and a comment. I will talk with you in the next one.